Morning, hello everybody. I'm getting ready to go live on my radio show once the news is finished. Just doing a little last minute setting up.
Under the Social Assistance Legislation Amendment Bill, every order a person has will be counted when their housing subsidy is calculated under and income. Labour's Kieran McAnulty says for some, it could reduce their subsidy by $100 a week or more.
Hi, if you're joining me, good morning. My name's Jenny. I'm here in New Zealand, about to go live on my radio show on Hutt Radio, talking about joy today. I just am waiting for the news.
The National Party says the bill addresses
Say
the
hello, let me know where you're
treatment of
from.
landlords and those who have orders. Stock markets have fallen on both sides of the Atlantic after Donald Trump announced plans to impose a 50% tariff on imports from the European Union from the beginning of next month. The US
Get my songs ready.
is not looking for a deal because talks with the bloc have been going nowhere. The BBC's Michelle Fleury is in New York.
In the case of the European Union, he's just frustrated that he's not getting more from them. And so as these trade negotiations go on, remember, if you think back to Liberation Day, April 2nd, there was this 20% tariff threat on the EU. That was swiftly kind of paused for 90 days to allow talks to go forward. And he clearly doesn't feel he's getting enough. One of the areas where Donald Trump has expressed frustration is with the EU's VAT policy, and that's something that he...
The waiting game has started. If you're joining me today, I'd love to know what you think about joy, how you find your joy. Do you feel joy? Some people don't feel joy. So that's what we'll be talking about on my show today. Just me, myself and I, and you guys.
Entire population facing famine. He says families are being starved by the world watchers. Mr. Guterres welcomed the aid now being let in.
So morning TikTok, morning YouTube, hello, hello. I'd love to know who you are, where you're from. I am in Lower Hutt, New Zealand, which is just out of the capital, Wellington. Just a short drive out of the capital, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous day here. A bit chilly, but looks amazing out there.
Guterres says the UN has been able to distribute some flour, baby food and nutritional supplements. Authorities in New South Wales are warning that while the weather has been cause for record flooding in the state has moved offshore, the threat still isn't over. Many towns in the state's
Is anyone in Australia? They're having really awful flooding in Australia at present, up on the mid-north coast of New South Wales, and the town where I was born, which is a little town called Maxville, has just been inundated with water. It's just awful, and I think there's been a number of people died, which is really, really terrible as well. Hello Ramesh from Sri Lanka. I have been to Sri Lanka. I love Sri Lanka. I spent some time in Colombo, went down to Galle, and just thought it was amazing. My sister lived there for some time, so I got to visit quite a lot, which was really beautiful.
The Retailers Association has expressed full confidence in the police, despite a directive for officers to ignore theft if the sums of money involved are below certain thresholds.
And my husband is from India, and he's a cricket coach. And he said, I would probably love to go and work in Sri Lanka as a cricket coach. I wouldn't mind that. I could easily live there. It's so beautiful. Still going with the news. It's a long one today, my goodness. Must be a lot happening.
Resources to be able to attend to the worst of the crimes that we're seeing, and then to be keeping a close eye.
Now I bought my tiara into the studio today because it is International Tiara Day. Can you believe it? I might pop it on.
Special recognition to stop recidivism. And the American singer-songwriter and piano man Billy Joel is cancelling all of his scheduled concerts, saying he's recently been diagnosed with a brain disorder.
Okay.
The
Nearly ready to go
76-year-old says
live.
he's undergoing physical therapy for normal pressure hydrocephalus, and has been advised to refrain from performing while he recovers. The condition occurs when fluid builds up inside the skull and presses on the brain.
I've got so many things here to look after, all the buttons, my computer.
That's the news now with sport. Here's Daniel Gilhooly.
News is finished. It's nearly time.
Hailed the impact of centre Glenn Proctor following last night's 31-27 win over the Reds in Brisbane. Proctor pushed his All Blacks starting credentials by having a direct hand in 3 of their 5 tries, as the Hurricanes leapfrogged their opponents into 4th.
Oh, more sport.
Standings. Murphy noted Proctor's return from injury had coincided with his team's 5-match unbeaten.
Anyway, if you have joined me, I'd love to know who you are, where you're from, what brings you joy, and maybe what you're doing this weekend.
Two very calm, so he's a pace setter within our group throughout the weekend in the game, and for him to play like that tonight is no surprise at all.
The Crusaders went top last night after pipping the Highlanders 15-12 in Christchurch. Meanwhile, the Blackferns must beat the United States by 25 points in Albany this afternoon if they are to win the Pacific Four Championship on points differential. Canada lead the standings.
Oh,
after thrashing
God.
Australia
It's never going to end.
And the Great Britain men's and women's full-time teams-
Anyway, I'm talking about joy today, how we can bring more joy into our lives.
The English, Scottish and Welsh unions say the decision was driven by financial pressures, echoing the recent island...
How long has
government's
this got to go?
opinion.
I reckon we're about 10 seconds away.
New Zealand's Amy Fisher has powered to a gold medal at the sprint canoe World
Maybe
Cup in
15.
Fisher won the women's K1 150
I can see up here, it shows you
2 seconds.
every song and everything that's playing and how long it's got till it goes to the
New
end.
Zealand Formula 1 driver Liam Lawson was 5th
Okay,
fastest
we're
and
getting
second
ready now.
position at the moment.
It's happening, about to go live on TikTok, YouTube and the radio here in New Zealand.
Racing Bulls driver Lawson heading into tonight's final practice and qualifying.
It's a positive day for sure. It's one of those tracks where you're just building up the whole weekend. So we made a lot of changes, to be honest, today. We'll basically chase it again tomorrow.
And Paris Olympian Hazel Auerhand has smashed her own New Zealand 50-metre butterfly record by nearly half a second at the National Swimming Championships in Auckland. Auerhand clocked 25.43 seconds, which qualifies her for this year's World Championships. Koina ngā pūrongo ākiri.
That's
This
sport.
is Brad Savage.
Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. This is the Joy Temple. My name is Jenny. You're listening to Hutt Radio. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm so pleased to be back. I've had a couple of breaks over the last couple of weeks. You know, I had to have a tooth out. I've taken a little bit of time to recover from that, but I'm feeling really good. And plans are afoot for a trip to India to get my teeth fixed, which is very exciting. And I'm going to keep everybody updated on how that is all going to happen. But welcome. It is a beautiful, beautiful day here in New Zealand, where I am in Lower Hutt. It is gorgeous. And I am streaming today on Hutt Radio, also on my TikTok and YouTube called The Joy Temple. So you are able to jump on behind the scenes, say hello, and let me know where you're from, what you're up to, and more importantly, what brings you joy. Now, as I do with my show each week, I love to start with an intention and gratitude. Now, my intention for the weekend is to just be aware of the small, beautiful moments. I think we can get so lost in distraction that we don't see the beautiful things in front of us. I was talking to my mum yesterday and she was telling me that my sister has been reading this book. I can't remember what it was called, but she said apparently flowers, when they know that a bee is coming near them, they start to release more pollen. Okay, so nature is amazing. And we're all connected in these beautiful, beautiful ways, but we often don't take the time to just stop and look at those minute details of life. Another example of this is I've got this African violet plant at home. I'm not a great gardener, but I try. And a couple of years ago, we bought this plant when we were on a trip to New Plymouth, and it had flowers on it when we bought it. But in the last 2 years, it's never flowered. It's just kind of sat there. I would water it, talk to it, nothing happened. But I moved this beautiful little plant to a spot where it got more sun, and it started to really thrive. The leaves started to start shooting from it, and then I noticed this little kind of bud on the flower, on the plant, and yep, there is a flower, and then another bud and another. So I've got like 3 beautiful little African violet flowers on this plant. And what was even more interesting about this plant is that for me, an African violet is a purple flower, right? But this one has this incredible white detail around the edge. And my mum said that it is quite a special style of flower. So my intention is to just be aware of the details, the minute details of things that we might pass every day and not really pay attention to. That's what I'm going to do. Now, I also like to start my show with some gratitude. I think gratitude is such an important part of our well-being for our journey, you know, during this life. And this week, I really have a lot to be grateful for. I work in a contract. Times are really quite challenging here in New Zealand for people and work, and my contract was due to come to an end at the end of June, and I'm so grateful that it has been extended for another few months. It's certainly given me a little bit of relief from the pressure of job hunting, because I'm getting rejections left, right and centre. It's wild. The other thing I'm really grateful for, and this one is so exciting, I woke up to some amazing news on Monday morning. I had an idea a while ago that I would love to do something to bring dance to the community. I love dancing. I spend a minute every morning dancing before I leave to either go to work or start my day. And dance is one of those things that it makes us feel good, it brings us joy, it gets our body moving. There's so many incredible benefits. So I thought, how could I bring dance to the community where people could just come along and have a dance? It's not about coming to do a class, it's not like Zumba or anything like that, it's just about come and have a dance. And I decided to apply for a council grant here in Lower Hutt, and I would really like to say thank you to the Lower Hutt City Council, who have supported my idea and granted me a grant to be able to start doing some dancing in the community. I don't quite know what that looks like yet. I have ideas in my mind of how I would like this to happen. So I will probably spend a bit of time this weekend getting that sorted as well, thinking about that. But what I see this doing is just giving a place where people who may not be able to have the opportunity to go out dancing can come to. Not everybody wants to go to a class, as I said. Not everybody wants to go to a nightclub and go dancing. So hopefully this will be something nice that the community can start to become involved in, and just do something to connect with others and make them feel darn good. So there we go, I'm pretty excited about that. So certainly a lot for me to be grateful for this week. And I hope that is the same for you. And I will be talking a little bit about gratitude later in the show, because today I'm going to be talking about joy. You know, this year I haven't had hardly any guests on my show. And that has really been the focus of the show over the last kind of year, having people in. But I've just enjoyed coming in here and just doing my own thing for a little while. That's a bit of a change. But I am thinking I would like to get some guests back in, and I am looking for people who might like to come and share their love stories, and talk about maybe dating, or how they met the love of their life, or maybe you're a life coach, a dating coach who can come and give us some tips and advice for people wanting to, you know, find love. You know, I've shared my beautiful love story about, you know, the fortune teller and meeting my, you know, husband on Tinder, and I believe that love is out there for everybody, and sometimes we're scared of love, but, you know, we need to open our hearts, I think. Now, I am going to check the weather, because it is, look, I probably don't even need to say anything more except that it just looks darn beautiful outside. My goodness, blue skies, no clouds, it looks amazing. But let's just have a little quick look at what the weather is for the weekend. All I can tell you is that today, here we go, it's very exciting, fine, northerlies, top of 17, low of 10. That's all it's telling me. That's good, that's simple. Tomorrow though, top of 17, low of 14, will be mainly fine. A chance of a shower at night, and there will be northerlies becoming strong in the evening. And oh my goodness, we've had a little bit of wild weather lately, hey? yeah, it's always quite dramatic here in Wellington. I'm going to play a song, and then when I come back, I'm just going to, talk a bit more about stuff, and then we will start talking about joy. I have just got a whole lineup of songs today, nothing in particular order. I think I'm going to have some Queen, maybe some Madonna, Dua Lipa, and I'm going to start off with this beautiful song by the Alessi brothers. I just love this. It is gorgeous. It is called Seabird. I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, so I've got to remember which buttons to press. Right, let's press this one. Let's get some music underway. I'll see you again in a minute. You're listening to Hutt Radio. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're away, people. And this is the most gorgeous song.
There's a road I know I must go, even though I tell myself that road is closed. Mr. Lonely Seabird, you've been away from land too long,
This is a beautiful song.
too long. I don't listen to the news.
Thanks for joining in, everybody. I love having people to play with. This is a joyful song, isn't it? We have this thing in our body. Have you ever had goosebumps when you've had something feel joyful? It's called frisson. I'm going to talk about it today. And frisson is where something is so joyful that it makes you feel that excitement and gives you those goosebumps. And I feel like this when I listen to this song. It's just gorgeous. I don't know much about this band, the Alessi brothers. I don't really know anything, but this is a great song. So I do have my tiara today. Look at that. I found it yesterday for $3 at the shop because it's International Tiara Day. I'll put it on soon. Oh, thank you. You love my energy. Yeah, we've got to work on our energy, right? It's very important. Okay, we're going back live on air, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. It's 9:19 a.m. You're listening to Hutt Radio. My name is Janie. Thank you for tuning in on this beautiful Saturday morning. And today I'm going to be talking about joy, how we can get more joy in our life because, well, this is the Joy Temple show, so we need to talk about joy. But first, I want to let you know about a recent holiday that I had. We went to Christchurch. Oh my goodness. I had no idea that Christchurch was so, so beautiful. We found a flight which was like $40 each way with Jetstar. And yes, we got there, we got back. There was no big delays. And flew into Christchurch not really having any expectation whatsoever because we had never been there before. It was just a really gorgeous city. It was so beautiful. We hired a car, which I think you need to do in Christchurch because it's quite a spread out city. There's lots of things to see. And we stayed at a hotel called Hotel 115, which is like right in the hub of town in a place called Cathedral Square. So for, a lot of New Zealanders, you know that Christchurch was had that really awful earthquake back in, I think it was 2011. They have rebuilt the city, and they are still rebuilding the city. So we were staying right near where the cathedral was. So it was right in the centre of town. It was just really incredible. And we did some really nice things. We went to a place called Tahuna, or what was it called? Tahuna something. And it was like a hot pool that has been built right on the beach out in New Brighton. So you just book in, and always check out Book Me, right? They've got some great deals. So we went out to this beautiful hot springs. It was a salt water spring, so I don't think it's a natural one, although I don't know. But they do a sunrise hot spring, so you can go, and it's timed with the sunrise of a morning, and you can sit in the hot pool and watch the sun come up over the ocean. They're like amazing. I didn't realise that that was there, or I would have booked that one. And they also do a full moon session where you can go in the evening and watch the full moon also coming up over the ocean. So how cool is that? I think we paid $18 for entry, but you go for like a 2-hour session. So that was really, really beautiful. They had like 4 or 5 different pools, plus they had a steam room and a sauna. And they also have a cafe, so that was really cool. And the other really cool thing we did, we went to a place, I think it was called Kashmir, and it is an adventure park where people can do mountain biking, zip lining, or just take walks through the bush. And we also found another deal on Book Me, and we took a ride in the chairlift. Not a gondola. We were not closed into anything. We were on the chairlift, where you stand there, you sit along the chair, and then you pull a bar down to keep you safe and secure. It was just really beautiful. Shakti had never been on a chairlift before, and there's something significant about it. I think it is either the longest or the oldest chairlift in New Zealand. It goes for 1.8 kilometres up the mountain and back down again. And you are just, you're just literally blowing in the breeze. And I can tell you what, that breeze was pretty wild as we were coming back down. It was very chilly indeed, but certainly worth a trip to go and check out the chairlift and the hot pools. And the other thing we did was lots and lots of off shopping, which is one of our favourite things. And Shakti got to go to Hagley Park because, as a avid cricket lover and a cricket coach, for him to be able to step on the ground of Hagley Park where they play all the cricket was really something special for him. So highly recommend Christchurch. Great food, just a great, great city. So there we go. Now, today we are going to be talking about joy. I'll be sharing ways that you can begin to bring more joy into your life. But first, as I love to do on my show each week, I want to celebrate an internationally recognised day. Now, I'm going to have a moment. For those of you who might be watching on my TikTok or my YouTube, I'm taking off my beautiful red hat, and I'm getting out my tiara that I got from the $2 shop yesterday. Oh, I just broke it, except it cost me $3, not $2. And today is International Tiara Day. Who knew there was such a day? I'm here for it. We don't always get a chance to bring out our regal tiaras. Mine is falling off, but today is the day because apparently people around the world, including myself, will put on their tiaras, real or imaginary, to embrace their inner royalty, to embrace their inner queendom. This celebrated day isn't just about the glittery accessory, it's about giving people the chance to shine and to feel special. Now, International Tiara Day kicked off in 2005 thanks to a lady called Barbara Bellissimo, who had the bright idea during a program that she was running. She was running this workshop, and she picked a date that unintentionally coincided with the birthday of Queen Victoria. And then in 2008, a lady called Leanne White, a bridal shop owner somewhere in America, gave the day a bit of a revival and declared that every woman, and I guess man, deserves their tiara moment. So the intention of the day is to remind women and men to enjoy the feeling of self-worth, empowerment, and the joy of feeling like royalty, even if it is just for one day. You can get pampered, dress up, or simply reflect on your value and your worth and embrace your beauty and your strength. And you can wear your tiara with pride, as I am, and let your inner queen shine bright. I'm just going to take my tiara off because it just wants to fall off, which is a bit of a shame, but it's right there beside me looking very beautiful, and I'm going to put my hat back on. So here's some ways that we can celebrate today, and if you don't own a tiara, you know, just pretend that you've got one. One of the things we can do is express self-love. And when I am doing my mentoring and coaching, I discover that a lot of women don't have a great deal of self-love. And one of the things I encourage them to do is to look in the mirror and declare love for yourself. It is very hard. In fact, for one of my mentees, for the whole time we were doing our work, she really struggled to do this. And it was only towards the end of our mentorship that she actually started to embrace this feeling of having the courage to look in the mirror and see that the person looking back at her was actually beautiful and worthy. Take a chance and do that. Start to do that to, you know, start to feel your own worth and value and love for that person you see looking back at you. Let the world see your sparkle, right? It's in, you know, we all have something to share, to give, to that makes us shine on the inside. Celebrate that, let it out. And you can pamper yourself. You don't need to go to any extremes. Do something just for you. Take a bubble bath if that's something you can do. Indulge in a favourite treat today, or take time out to enjoy a film or get lost in a book. You might like to catch up with some friends and show off your fabulous tiaras. And you could even make your own tiara, which would be quite fun. So it is International Tiara Day. And when I have worked with women in fashion shows that I have done, one of the great exercises I love to do with them is this little one. And you're welcome to do this right now, except of course if you're driving. But if you've got a bit of space somewhere, this is what I get my supermodels to do when I'm preparing them for fashion parades. I ask them to start walking. I ask them to just walk, you know, 5 or so meters up and back, up and back. And then I ask them to stop. And what I get them to do next is to pretend that they are putting on like a regal cape, like a big, heavy velvet cape like a queen would wear. And then I ask them to take an imaginary crown and to put it onto their head. What you notice straight away is the difference in these women. And then I ask them to walk. And it's almost like they are embodying this feeling. Their posture changes, their essence changes, and it's a really beautiful thing to see. So it's amazing how we can not trick our mind or our body into doing things, but to think about different ways that we can carry ourselves and our energy and our being. So there we go. International Tiara Day. Enjoy it, have fun, and get your tiara on. Let's have some more music. Hey, it's 9:29 a.m. You're listening to Hutt Radio. I am just going to go through my songs today, and the first one I've got on my list is, oh, this is perfect. This is Kiss, I Was Made for Loving You, but it's like, I was made for loving me. Here we go, this is Kiss. Oh, it's not working. Okay, everybody, that one doesn't work. Let's try something else.
Put a record on. I wanna dance with my baby.
Let's have some Madonna. Hi, Jasmine. Christchurch was amazing. Loved it. Yeah, the hot pools. I think they're quite new out in New Brighton. And yeah, it was really nice. Different ranges of heat to try out, but it was just really beautiful. And the adventure park, that chairlift, there was nothing up the top. You just got off and you just kind of had a look at the view, which was really beautiful. But yeah, nice. And we also loved Rollickin Gelato. So we were right near, what is it? What's that street called? Oh, it's that famous street with all the old buildings in it. We were right near there. Anyway, I'm going to keep an eye on things here. What's happening? I'll go Madonna. Yesterday I had on in the background the Confessions on a Dance Floor concert, like YouTube video where she's doing that concert. It is amazing. Oh my God. The music, her dancing, the whole show was really amazing. If you ever want something to just watch that's really good on YouTube, check that out. Right, has everyone got their tiaras ready for today? Mine is really cute, but oh, look, it's broken off. I can't believe this little bit broke off, but that's all right. It's still cute. So I'm very excited to be planning a trip to India, looking to go in August. So who's been to India? Has anyone got any plans to go to India? It's such a great, great place. I'm just going to keep on with the Madonna theme. Settle in and relax now. I'd love to know who you are, where you're from, what brings you joy. Oh, it is so beautiful outside today. How's the weather where you are? It was beautiful in Christchurch, that's for sure. We had great weather. How's Miley going? Oh, she's got a little bit to go. Welcome back. That was Miley Cyrus, Like a Prayer. So we had Madonna music, and I just backed it up with Miley Cyrus. Oh, both of those ladies, like, they really rock their tiaras, that's for sure. It's 9:37 a.m. on this beautiful Saturday morning. You're listening to Hutt Radio. My name is Janie, and this is the Joy Temple. You can listen to us live on iHeart Radio, or you can also tune in today on the Joy Temple TikTok and YouTube, and just see what's happening behind the scenes in the studio. Now today on the show, I am going to be talking about joy. Joy is something for me that is so important. It is, I believe, the essence of my being to radiate joy and to share joy with others. Many people don't feel like they have joy, or they feel they aren't capable of achieving joy, even when positive things are present for them. And this can stem from a range of things such as psychological, emotional, or even societal factors. And today I'd like to share some ways that we can begin to feel more joy, because it really does have a profound effect on our well-being and our happiness. So why is it that sometimes we don't feel joy? So we have a range of emotions that are flowing through us every day, and they range from feelings of, we could be at the bottom of the emotional scale where we're feeling anger, despair, through to the top of the emotional scale where we're feeling joy and happiness. There's some really valid scientific reasons why we don't feel joy, and when I learnt about these, they really helped put some things into perspective for me. So here's some reasons why we don't feel like we have joy. People can experience things such as anhedonia. Has anyone heard that word before? And this is the inability to experience pleasure. And it's a condition where people find it difficult to feel pleasure from activities that they once enjoyed. And it's a common symptom for people who may have depression or other mental health disorders. So joyful events, even when they occur, their emotional response may be absent. So that's one of the reasons why people may not feel joy. We can also have this thing where we feel like we get so used to things being good, and it's called the hedonic adaptation. I'm using very big scientific words today. And it's where we quickly return to that kind of baseline level of happiness after we've had a positive or negative event. This means that even after a joyful experience, the elevated feelings will fade, making it seem like the joy is missing. For me, I feel like I'm living in a constant state of joy, but it is something that I have really worked on to make that a part of my being, and I will be sharing more about how I do that. Sometimes people who have perfectionistic tendencies often also downplay their achievements, and they feel relief rather than pride when they do something that they've had success with. And this mindset can overshadow moments of joy. as people feel that they're just meeting expectations rather than finding reasons to celebrate. And one of the things we do at work all the time is celebrate. I just love to celebrate. Like, why shouldn't we celebrate? Why do we feel this need to just keep things quiet or hidden and not celebrate these incredible moments that we have in this beautiful gift of life? We all need to celebrate. Excuse me. Some people have a genuine fear of happiness, and this is called cherophobia, and they feel that joyful moments might be followed by negative consequences, and this in turn leads to suppressing positive emotions, making it difficult to experience the joy. And this is a really common thing, and it's a great reminder now that the universe only wants the absolute best for us, right? It wants us to succeed in life. It doesn't want us to be suffering, but we have to take the steps to be able to move through whatever it is we're dealing with or, you know, coping with, to come out the other side and know that everything is okay. I think that's a really interesting one, this fear of happiness, and this tying in with waiting for something bad to happen. And that's a really hard mindset to kind of shift. But we need to just block out those negative feelings, right? And just focus on the fact that good stuff is happening and to keep letting the good stuff happen. Sometimes people can experience emotional numbness from like burnout or trauma or chronic stress. And this can lead to a place where individuals feel detached from their emotions. And when you're in this state, it does become challenging to feel joy, even when positive events occur. So do any of these things resonate with you? I think one of the things that really resonated with me is the one about happiness would lead to something negative, right? There has to be a positive, then a negative. So I've had to really shift my mindset around that one, that's for sure. As I said, the universe really just wants us to succeed. It wants us to have the best, and yeah, I just like to think that that's the case. And I certainly am really mindful of how I think about things and express things through my day. I think we should have another song, hey? This is Just the Thing by Paul Mac. Good morning if you're tuning in on my TikTok or my YouTube today. I'd love to know who you are, where you're from. Today we're talking about joy. How do you find joy? How do you feel joy? What brings you joy? And it's International Tiara Day. Getting some more songs to put into my music channel here. I decided to bring my glasses. Aren't they fabulous? I'm going to play The Universe Knows by Lucas Mack because I'm talking about joy today and how the universe only wants the absolute best for us, believe it or not. But try believing it. This is The Universe Knows, Lucas Mack.
Yo, I don't really with that. I believe I can.
Do you guys know who Lucas Mack is? He's a New Zealand breathwork practitioner who lives in LA. Amazing. He's got the most amazing story. He met his partner, Hilla Weston. I think she was 16. She had snuck into a nightclub and they fell in love and started on this journey, moved to different places around the world. But he had actually had a great deal of trauma in his life and he had healed it through doing breath work. And now he does, he works with people like Jake Paul, Travis Barker from Blink, is he Blink 182, Travis Barker? And he helped him overcome his fear of flying because Travis Barker was in that awful plane crash that killed some band members. And he vowed he would never ever fly again. And then he met Kourtney Kardashian and, you know, they had this, well, they're married now, but he was instrumental in helping him be able to fly again through the use of breath work. So it is very, very, very powerful. And if you are someone in Wellington who's interested in doing breath work, I've had an amazing lady on my show. Her name is Taryn Feehan. She is based out here in the Hutt and she does amazing breath work and also runs workshops. I think once a month in the city there's an evening workshop. So if that's your thing, check it out. Anyway, this is Lucas Mack. I just had a message from my son. My son lives in Melbourne. He's turning 40 next month. Can't believe it. I absolutely adore that song. I love his words that, you know, you will see things unfolding before your eyes when you choose to believe it. I love that. I've also been listening to a lady recently called Yana Green. She's a manifester and she's really fascinating. And I know I'm diverting off joy, but I guess joy is part of manifesting. And she just tells us to write things down. Like we get so stuck in this whole must do this, must do that, must do this to manifest. And she's like, no, you don't need to. Just write down what you want. And I have started doing that. And just really sometimes little simple things. I wrote in my notebook one day, I'd like a free coffee, I'd like a free piece of cake, a hug. And my girlfriend said, do you want to come and have coffee? And I'm like, sure. She bought my coffee. She gave me a hug and she said, I've also bought you a piece of cake. So there you go. So that is just one thing to think about when you are wanting to manifest stuff. Just write down and just ask the universe exactly what it is that you want. Now we are talking about joy, and I want to talk about how I discovered my joy. All right, here we go. So I went on my discovery of joy many years ago when I was stuck in a world of stress, anxiety and panic disorder. One day I decided to get some acupuncture, and my sister suggested that I go get that Chinese doctor to stick a needle into my joy spot. And I thought, WTF, I didn't even know what my G spot was, let alone my joy spot. So what was I going to ask for? I was somebody who wasn't feeling joy. I was in my early 30s at the time. I wasn't feeling joy. I didn't even understand the concept of joy or happiness. So I really began to question these feelings for me and see how I could start to cultivate more joy and happiness into my life. There was a lot going on. I was, going, as I said, anxiety, stress, panic disorder. I had agoraphobia. I couldn't leave the house. Things were really awful. I had very low self-esteem and self-worth. I was a single mum trying to work to, keep a roof over our head, food on the table. It's a very common thing, very common story. But what I felt was there was this kind of void inside me. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And I'd see other people looking like they were really happy and having fun. And I had those moments when the sparks were there. But then they were overshadowed by something other than joy and happiness, like fear, doubt, anxiety. They were the dominant feelings. And I talked a bit about that, condition before, where you might feel like something bad is going to happen if you have something good happening. So I was really conscious of that. And I really did spend a lot of time questioning whether something was actually wrong with me, which it wasn't. And I had to, go on this journey of self-discovery, right? So what did change for me, and how was I able to start moving from feeling nothing to feeling joy? And more importantly, how was I able to maintain the joy even when things were challenging? So my movement towards joy started in my early 30s. I was discovering life. I was, clueless. I was working through my stress, my anxiety and panic, and as that kind of relief came from those things, I was able to think about how I could change my state of being. And what I discovered during this time was that I really had no idea of who I was. I did not understand my identity or my essence. And those two things are really important for us, right? To be able to feel this sense of peace and security and I guess worthiness in our life. So that's what I wasn't understanding. That's what I wasn't grasping. I didn't really understand who I was apart from being a mum and having a job and living with stress. They were my three key things in life. There was not a tiara inside, I can tell you now. And I was kind of watching the world from the wings, not really being actively involved because I didn't really know how. I am going to play another song and then I'm going to come back and talk about why it is we need to feel joy and also share a bit more about my story and then some ways that we can start to bring some joy. I think I'm going to play What would we like to play now? Something a bit upbeat. Let's play Vicky Sue Robinson. This is Turn the Beat Around. It's 9:57 a.m. You're listening to Hutt Radio. This is the Joy Temple and my name is Jenny. I'll be back in a moment to talk more about joy. Oh, little disco. I think we should turn this up. Hello, if you've just joined my TikTok or my YouTube, it's lovely to see you. My name's Jenny. I'm doing a live radio show here in New Zealand on Hutt Radio. Let's see if we can turn the thing around. There we go. This is the studio. There's the outside world. It's a beautiful day out there. And I'm talking about joy. If you've got any questions about the radio, happy to answer them. If you've got any questions about joy, I'm happy to answer them, but maybe I'll answer them during the show. Anyway, I'm just messaging my son back because he's in Melbourne. He's messaged to say hello. Has anyone got any tips to help us feel joy? Glasses back on. I wonder if I could do the whole show in these. I think I can read. Maybe not. What should I play next? Oh. Let's have some Lizzo. Juice. So I've just started doing lives on my TikTok and I don't know if I'm supposed to do anything special. I just press play and off I go. Am I supposed to do anything? Apart from say hello, answer any questions? What a good song. got a lot of beat to turn around, hasn't she? She just keeps going. I think we might fade her out and put something else on. Oh no, she's only got a little bit to go. We'll keep her there. We'll give her time to shine. Now let's have some Rizzo. Okay, let's go. This is such a good song, so fun. I just need to remind everybody that it is International Tiara Day today. You need to get your tiara out and wear it all day, regardless of what you're doing, whether you're, you know, at the shopping centre, at the toilet, wherever, pop your tiara on. Has everybody got some joy juice today? Oh, now, apparently I'm supposed to talk about something today. What is it? Let's have a look. Today. Oh my God, hilarious. She's talking about men coming into her DMs, right? I have had, I don't know how many weirdos this week sending me messages. My husband thinks it's hilarious. I'm like eye rolling. Someone wanted to have a video call with me. I'm thinking, well, only if my husband can come too. Oh my God. Someone wanted to speak to me on the WhatsApp. That's a no. Okay, we're going back on air. Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Hutt Radio. It's 10:06 a.m. My name is Janie. This is the Joy Temple. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm talking about joy today and how we can find more joy in our life, and not only that, but maintain joy. Before I continue on with that, I just need to let you know a little bit about our other live shows that we have coming out of the studio. I am the Joy Temple. My name's Janie. I'm here from 9 till 11 on Saturdays. Following me from 11 till 1, we have Light in the Valley, which is a Christian music and life reflection through the Light of the Gospel program. Angelica, and her team will be in following me. Now tomorrow from 11 till 1 we have the Fresh Brew Show with Ted Bagley, and Ted keeps us up to date with everything happening in the local music scene. He has amazing guests come in who play live music, and he talks to them about what they're doing. On Tuesdays we have Andrew Hardwick from 1 to 2 p.m. with his Change Habits and Thrive program. Andrew is a hypnotherapist, and he comes and talks about a different topic each week in relation to habits and how we can change our habits. And on Wednesday from 12 to 2 we have the Liquid Lunch with DJ Duop. Ryan brings his turntable in and spins a variety of vinyl for everyone to listen to. He does some vinyl chat, music and venue promo, gig guides, and film and album reviews. So we have quite a nice little lineup of people who do live shows here on air. And if you would like to volunteer here at the station, we are always looking for people who would love to do things either like I'm doing, have your own radio show, for example, or maybe you would like to help out behind the scenes doing other stuff. We're looking for radio producers. In fact, I'm looking for a producer who would like to help me with my show. It is a volunteer gig. It is, you do it for love, but there is a few little perks. We've been given a beautiful t-shirt. Sometimes we might all catch up and be shouted lunch or a beer or something like, not that I drink, but we have opportunities to get together. We are a charity. We are a community station, so we do love support from people. So if you are looking for something to do that would help out in the community, maybe reach out to us at hello@huttradio.co.nz. I'd also like to thank Neko Neru. So we are in the same building as them. This is the Cat Cafe here in Lower Hutt. I'd like to thank them for being a great sponsor of ours and for helping to keep us on air. So there we go. That's just a little bit of info about our live shows and how you might like to support us, in some way. Now today I am talking about joy. I've just been sharing a little bit about my journey towards discovering joy, because I was somebody who didn't really have much joy in their life. I never felt I had anything to be joyful for. But what I did was made the decision. And, everything we do requires a decision. A decision that is going to take us closer to something that we want, or keep us in a place where we don't want to be. So my decision was, how do I change my life to start to feel more joy? And I want to talk a bit now about why it is we need to feel joy, because joy, it's really important for us. Joy has so many benefits, and here are some of them. It enhances our physical health and helps reduce stress hormones, alleviate pain, and it helps boost our immunity. It decreases our risk of heart disease and improves our overall health. Now if that's not a great reason to start to bring more joy into your life, then you know what, I'm just going to pack up and go right now. I think that is a really valid reason to start to feel joy. Joy also boosts our mental well-being by helping us to combat symptoms of depression and anxiety. And this for me was something that I can really relate to, because the more I started to invite joyful things into my life, the less anxious I felt, the less stress I felt like I had, and certainly the less panic I had. It is a natural antidepressant, and it helps to promote a positive outlook and enhances our emotional resilience. So there's two good reasons to start to discover your joy. And our resilience is strengthened with joy. And I feel like resilience was something that really changed things for me as well. Once I became resilient, I was able to cope, which made life better and contributed to my joy. And it became a bit of a cycle, the more joy I had, the more resilient I became. Therefore, the more happier. Therefore, the more resilient. So it was a beautiful, beautiful cycle that has enabled me to spiral upwards, into this place where I am living in a constant state of joy. You know, and we can feel joy and cope with challenges at the same time. And I think a lot of people don't believe that to be the case, but we really can have joy and challenges happening side by side. Joy is also good for stimulating our brain. It improves cognitive function and enhances creativity, problem solving and decision making skills. And being joyful also helps us learn and to be more adaptable. And our social connections are strengthened with joy. It helps us bond with others and enhances the sense of belonging and community. And this is something that's really vital for us as humans, to be connected to others and share joyful experiences. And finally, joy encourages personal growth. It motivates us to pursue goals and engage in activities that align with our values and our passions, leading to personal development and fulfillment. So having a joyful outlook builds our confidence. So there's some really great reasons why we should start to be cultivating more joy into our life. I think we should play some more music, hey? Let's have some joyful songs. Oh, what about this one? This is Olivia Newton-John, Xanadu, one of my all-time favourites and probably my karaoke song of choice. So I've just had someone share with me that they love playing video games. It brings them joy and helping their mum. There's nothing cheesy about that. You know, our joy comes from whatever it is that we do that makes us feel good, right? Unless you're doing something really bad. If you're getting joy from doing something like that's really not great, then maybe you need to rethink that. But what brings me joy? Okay, this is weird. I feel really joyful when I'm sewing sequins onto fabric. I don't have a sewing machine anymore. I haven't been able to get one yet here in New Zealand. But one of the things I love doing is creating clothing and decorating clothing, and that sometimes I will get tiny little sequins and I love to sew them on one by one onto something like a skirt or a jacket or whatever it is. That brings me joy. I don't know, it just takes me into a mindful place. I also feel joy when I eat food that I really love, or this radio show brings me joy. Having the opportunity to do something that has taken me so far out of my comfort zone has been really amazing. I never thought a year ago that I would have a radio show. I don't have any degree in media or anything. I just saw an opportunity, opened up my phone, made the call, and here I am. So never underestimate what it is that brings you joy, whether you think it's cheesy or not, because it's meaningful to you, and that's the main thing, right? Because you're the one who needs to feel it and experience it and do more of it. Anyway, Xanadu's on. I'll tell you what brings me joy. These glasses bring me joy. About karaoke. When I lived in Melbourne, I used to go to karaoke. I don't sing, but I didn't care. This is my song of choice. Oh, Livy. Our Livy. Let's have another song. This is Terry Walker, Ching Ching. Oh, she doesn't want to play. Oh, some of my songs aren't playing today. Boo! This one is. This is Purple Disco Machine. I discovered them on YouTube. So good. If you're in Lower Hutt, keep an eye out for my upcoming dance things. I've been given a grant from the local council to bring dance out into the community. I'm so excited. It's not going to be a class. It's not going to be, you know, like Zumba or anything. It's just going to be, you know, an hour or so where you can come along and dance. We might have a disco theme one week, maybe 80s, 90s, rock and roll. Who knows? I'm still putting it all together. But how I feel so grateful that the council has decided that the community needs more dance. I'll definitely play this, I reckon. Good if they had a dance floor here in the studio. There's not enough room. It's very, very small. Okay, nearly time to come back on air. Oh, there we go. Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Hutt Radio. My name is Janie. We are streaming on iHeart Radio today, or you can tune in on 88.3 FM. And I am also live streaming on my TikTok and my YouTube, The Joy Temple. So you can jump onto either of those platforms and say hello behind the scenes, which is really cool. That was Purple Disco Machine, Beat of My Heart. I am talking about joy today, and it is also International Tiara Day. So if you've got a tiara handy, you know, get it out, pop it on, wear it with pride. Now, I have been talking a little bit about my own journey to joy, about why sometimes people can't feel joy. And to understand more about joy, we need to discover what joy actually feels like. So I'm going to try and explain that now. How would you explain what joy feels like? So for me, I feel a sense of peace, a sense of calm. I feel excited when something good happens. In fact, I just feel excited all day, every day, to be honest, which is really nice. It brings a nice energy to, to everyone who I encounter. Joy feels, it feels nice, Joy feels happy. Joy feels like everything is going well. There's probably lots of other ways that people could explain how they feel joy. Joy is a feeling of lightness and warmth, which can be felt in our heart area. And there is a feeling of elation and a sense of peace and contentment. And we can sometimes even feel laughter or tears when something joyful happens to us. We feel a connection to ourself, and I think that's really important, a connection to ourself and the world around us. And we have feelings of love and gratitude. I think that's a beautiful way to kind of, put joy into a little bubble that we can carry around with us. And we also feel physical sensations when we experience joy. Joy releases dopamine and serotonin, which contribute to the feelings of pleasure and well-being. And our brain's reward system gets activated, and we can experience feelings of relaxation in our muscles, especially the mouth and eyes. I don't know why that is. Why are those two muscles so targeted? And have you ever felt goosebumps when something joyful has happened? This is called frisson. I love that word, frisson. I'm going to go and have some frisson today. And this can be triggered by music, art, or profound moments. It's another physical effect of joy, having those goosebumps. And when we begin to tune into our feelings, both physical and emotionally, we become more aware of what we are experiencing, and we can then begin to recognize what emotion it is that we are feeling. And this is what kind of happened to me. I began to take notice and appreciate things I was doing. Okay, this is how I started to build my joy. Right, I'll give you a little before and after. So I used to live in this amazing building in Brisbane. It was called Torbreck. It's still there. It is like the first high rise that was ever built. And if you are familiar with Brisbane, you would know this building because it sits right high on the hill and has this big glass kind of dome on the top. And right beside our building was a park. And it looked out all over the city, all over the mountains. And it was really a beautiful little park. And when I moved to this building, I bought myself a coffee machine. They were very hard to find way back then, back in the late 90s, but I found one. And what I would do is I would take my cup of coffee over to the park next door. I'd sit on the grass and I might have a book, have my coffee, had an amazing view around me, but it wasn't making me feel joy. Okay, so these are things that should be making us feel joy. And I just always used to feel a sense of unease. So I was experiencing the physical aspects of making my coffee, grabbing my book, going and sitting on the grass, looking around and reading, but I wasn't feeling the emotional attachment that should have come with that. I wasn't feeling the gratitude or the appreciation of those moments. I had the taste of coffee. That was bringing me joy, but I didn't realise. I had the sun on my body to warm me and just to feel, so invigorated by that. But I wasn't experiencing that feeling of joy from that. I had the time to myself without any other distractions, but I wasn't feeling those feelings. And it all comes back to feelings, right? But what I did was I began to pay attention to those micro moments, and I was becoming aware of my state of being. And I think this is one of the key things to start to work towards your joy. If you are doing something and not paying attention to how it's making you feel, then you're not going to be starting to move towards that space of joy. So for me, making the coffee, taking the coffee to the park, feeling that beautiful time there began to connect me with myself and my self-awareness, and I started to feel joy. And I started to look forward to doing that because of how good it was making me feel. Now, if you're familiar with the work of Abraham Hicks, she emphasizes that joy is the central purpose and guiding force of our human existence. It is the essence of our being and the key to aligning with our true self and our desires. And her emotional scale is something that I think we should all check out, because it gives us a framework of how we can look at where we are sitting, emotionally. Because feeling the level of emotions and working up the scale to that joy and happiness is something that we can all do and we can all consider doing. The emotional scale keeps us down in this place of unhappiness, despair, anger, frustration. It then starts to move up to things like satisfaction, and then higher up to those joy and happiness kind of feelings. But with anything we want to achieve, we need to do the work, and that's the same for me. I wanted to change my state of being, and I had to do the work. I wanted to move from somebody who was highly anxious, stressed, living with extreme panic attacks and panic disorder, to somebody who was feeling calm, in control, and finding her joy and happiness. And another really big part of finding my joy was to go on a journey of self-discovery, where I began to learn to accept myself for who I was, and also experience self-love. And once I began to feel the sense of love for myself on a really deep level, I was able to feel more love for life. And don't underestimate, how the connection between how we feel internally affects our external world. Other things that really helped me to discover my joy was to begin exploring. I began to explore life, and I feel like my life was very closed. I didn't know what it was I wanted to do. So I started to get out and about. I started to go and explore art galleries, or, go to the library, or take walks in different places, or visit different suburbs, just to see things through fresh eyes, right? And I discovered things that I really liked. I discovered that I loved cooking. I loved redecorating the space I was living in, changing things around. I discovered that I really loved to paint. I wanted to learn different things, and I wanted to find ways to do them. I discovered that I loved learning language, and I went on to learn Italian language for 3 years. So it was all about connecting with those things that may make a difference to how I was feeling at the time. I also found that exploring my style was a really big part of my joy, and through that I feel like I began to cement an identity of the woman I wanted to be. I wanted her to be fun, I wanted her to be colourful, I wanted her to be vibrant, and my wardrobe and my actual persona began to reflect that. And voila, here we are. Feeling joyful, feeling colourful, feeling vibrant, feeling fun. Now, a really big part of my journey of self-discovery was when I got my hands on a book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hayes. I would highly recommend this to everybody who might be feeling like they want to change their life. Because it really helped me let go of things that were holding me back from finding my freedom and joy. I had to do a lot of forgiving, not only of myself but of others. I had to, affirm in my life that I was actually really worthy of having a great life and being loved and lovable, all of those things. And she really helps you to unpack that. You know what, we live in a time right now where we have so much information at our fingertips that all we have to do is hit the internet, and there are tons of ideas to help us. And there are also so many great motivators that we can tap into, and a lot of this stuff is free, but I maintain this belief that it comes back to the decision. Are you ready to make that change, to take that step towards seeing life on the other side of what it is now? And there's a beautiful saying that says that often we aren't ready to make any change until the pain of what we are feeling right now becomes so big that we no longer fear what might be out there for us. So there we go. Also, we've got AI now, which is giving us a lot of information, and apparently one of the most searched things on AI like ChatGPT is for people who are wanting help in this, personal development space to be finding more joy and happiness in their life. So there we go. That's a little bit about my story of how I discovered joy. I think we should have some more music. I'm just going to let you know that we are heading for a beautiful weekend. A top of 17 today, a low of 10 tonight. It's currently 11 degrees outside, but oh my goodness, the sky is as blue as a bluebird. It is gorgeous out there. I can't see any clouds. It will be a bit chilly, but that's okay. And tomorrow also 17. In fact, the whole week is going to be around 17 degrees. So a little bit chilly here. Let's have some more music, hey. This is the Joy Temple on Hutt Radio. My name is Janie. It's 10:33 a.m. I think we should play, what shall we play now? Take My Breath by The Weeknd. Thank you if you've tuned in to my YouTube or my TikTok today. My name is Janie. I'm doing a live radio show here in New Zealand.
I saw the fire in your eyes. I saw the fire when you look into your eyes. You tell me things you wanna try. I know the tension is the devil in disguise.
I'm back in a second.
You said you did this all the time. Tell me you love me, I'm bringing you to my life. It's like a dream when she feels with me. She loves to be on the edge. Her fantasy is okay with me. Then suddenly, baby says, take my breath away and make it last forever. Do it now or never. Take my breath away. Nobody does it better. Bring me closer. Want me to hold on to you tight. Now pull me closer. Feel the heat between us. You're way too young to end your life. Girl, I don't wanna be the one who pays the price. Ooh, it's like a dream when she feels with me. She loves to be on the edge. Her fantasy is okay with me. Then suddenly, baby says, take my breath away and make it last forever. Do it now or never. Take my breath away. Nobody does it better. Bring me closer, never. Take my breath.
I'm back. Another great song. Anyone got great plans for the weekend? Got anything exciting that you're doing? I'm going to go and do some planning on my dancing workshops that I'm going to start. Oh, I'm so excited about that. to share some ways that we can start to discover our joy. So I was saying before that the station is looking for people who might like to do live shows. It is actually a lot of fun. You get to play your own music that you want to play. You get to come into the studio, hang out. You know, you could have a show about something that's really meaningful to you. Maybe there's an idea that you got that you'd like to pitch to the station if you're here in Lower Hutt. They want something with a bit of a community kind of focus and feel. But yeah, it is really good fun if you're looking for something to stretch you out of your comfort zone. I remember when this song first came out, I thought that Blondie's outfit was like so amazing in this film clip. Thank you if you just joined in to my live. My name's Janny. I'm here in Lower Hutt, New Zealand, in the Hutt Radio studio, doing a live show. Before I burst out there into the beautiful day that is ahead. And I am talking about joy, and I will have a replay of my show on my website, thejoytemple.com, if there's anything in here that you might be interested in looking back on. Oh, here we go. About to come back on air, everybody. Hey, welcome back. My name's Janny. This is Hutt Radio. It's 10:42 a.m. You're listening to the Joy Temple program. I'm here every Saturday from 9 till 11 a.m. bringing a weekly dose of joy. And speaking of joy, that is what we are talking about today, how we can discover more joy in our life And I'm going to now share some of the ways that we can do this, because I've just previously shared about my own journey for joy, where I felt I wasn't living with joy, and I really made that decision to start to explore what joy felt like and what I could do to bring more joy into my life. And I have lived a very joyous life. Now, this journey started in my early 30s. I'm now nearly 60. And I have to say that waking up every day feeling peace, contentment, joy is something that I never take for granted, but it's something that is just a natural part of my being now. So even when things are happening that are challenging, I still feel joy. And an example of this is, I work on a contract role here in Wellington. That contract was due to come to an end next month, and I've been looking for work. I've had about 6 job rejections, and what I have done is not let that affect my day-to-day, not let it affect my relationships with others, not let it affect the things that I'm doing every day to make me feel joyful, because we can have challenges but we can still feel joy. So don't feel that you have to keep in that state of despair and not have joy. You can have them both. And as for the jobs, right, when I used to do online dating, so I met my husband on Tinder back in 2018, but when I used to do online dating, I used to think, I hated when I got rejected, right? It's awful being rejected. Now, whether this is work, a job, a date, whatever it is, here's a little tip. Rejection is protection, okay? If you are being rejected from something, I can guarantee there's a reason why you are not meant to be going down that path, okay? Rejection is protection. Remember that. Now, let's have a look at some ways we can bring more joy into our life. I've got about 15 minutes left on the program today. We'll pop some more music in as well. But joy, here we go. One of the ways we can start to cultivate joy is to do mindful practices where you are focused on what you are doing in the present moment. Find the joy in these moments. Appreciate that coffee. Appreciate that sunshine on you. Like, what could you do right now? What would you stop and look at right now that you might take aware of and feel joyful for? Gratitude can also shift our focus towards positive aspects of life. And gratitude journaling is one of those. And even saying stuff that you're grateful also has an impact on you. It enhances our ability to feel joy. I'm grateful for having this beautiful day. I am grateful for knowing that I'm going to go outside and the sun is shining. You can start small, and if you aren't sure how to cultivate gratitude, that's the way to do it. Find something where you are right now that you are grateful for. There's bound to be something. And I think gratitude is one of those things where people struggle to really think you have to have these big, like really big things, but start small. Be grateful for that mouthful of Weet-Bix that you get to have today, or be grateful that you get a hug from your partner or your child, or a smile from somebody on the street. Those are the moments that we will build upon. Other ways we can build joy into our life is to engage in pleasurable activities, hobbies, or creative experiences. And I recently started swimming again. It was something I loved as a child, and it's something that I never really did very much of, but I've discovered it again and I love it, and it brings me joy. So maybe there's a pastime that you've once done that you can pick up again that might start to rekindle those joyful feelings for you. Find ways to connect with others, whether that's through art classes, join up to do a play, or come do some dancing with Jenny when that happens. Maybe cut back on screen time and get outside and have some experiences. Things like taking a walk along the beach and collecting shells, or, taking a picnic or a cup of coffee to the park, or even taking a walk can be a way for you to feel connected. Volunteering is another great thing that brings us joy. We increase our sense of joy when we're helping other people, and there's many places to do this, even Hutt Radio, if you were wanting a great volunteer gig. Giving something back has a really profound effect on our well-being as well. I also volunteer for Dress for Success. There's so many organisations where you can actually give a little bit of time, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Sometimes it could just be one little thing that you're doing to help somebody else in that volunteering capacity. Enjoy laughter or uplifting music, because this can help us reduce stress and improves our mood and evokes positive emotions. Do something fun to break the mood. And I think that's what we want to do. We want to start to build on those little joyful moments and let them permeate through our body. Prioritise activities that rejuvenate you. Are you doing stuff that weighs you down? Okay. Can you let these go, or find a way to make them joyful? And I'm going to give you a really good example of this. I don't know that it's, we still do filing. So I used to work in a job in Brisbane where I had to file a lot of documents. I worked for an engineering firm, and I was forever hole punching paper and putting them in files. I used to love it. I loved it because I could daydream away. And somebody, other people might see filing as being a menial, boring task, like washing up. But for me, I loved it. It allowed me to escape to places where I didn't have to think of anything else apart from just punching paper and putting it into a file. Finish tasks that you have been doing. This will help boost your confidence, and ask yourself a question about your goals. Are they actually aligning with what your vision of life is? Declutter your space. This is also a really good way to help find peace and clarity, through having a clear space around you. The joy and satisfaction that comes from tidying up that one drawer that we have in our house full of junk can, don't take that for granted how good that is. Now, do you love animals? Now, animals are proven to provide comfort and joy. Maybe you don't have the opportunity to have a pet, so perhaps you can find a place where you can be near animals if that's something that is important to you and you feel might bring you joy. And celebrate your wins. Get excited about the things you achieve, because that's motivating, okay? Celebrate. I celebrated this week that I've had a job extension. I've celebrated that I've been given this grant. I'm celebrating because I've decided to go to India to get my teeth fixed. I had to have 2 teeth out. It's awful. So I'm going to go and get my teeth fixed. I'm celebrating those. Celebrate everything, hey? And these last couple that I'm going to share are really about looking after your mental and physical well-being, because humans have a lot of moving parts, okay? But if the aim of the game is to want to start to feel more joy, as I said, you need to start to make that decision about what you're going to do about that. Feel that fear and start to let go of some of those things that are holding you back. By looking after our diet and doing physical activity, we are going to improve our mood and our health and our energy levels. Doing something physical gets the blood flowing, and even a minute or 2 of dance. Like I said, I dance every morning, and it's rare that I don't do it. Maybe if I'm away I don't do it, but every day there will be dancing. Perhaps you want to try hula hooping. How fun would that be? When was the last time you did a somersault? Oh, when was the last time I did a somersault? I might try that today. I think that would be quite funny. Other things we can do to enhance our joy is to practice forgiveness. Letting go of grudges has a very profound way of freeing our emotional energy and clearing a pathway for our future joy. Holding on to things that have happened in the past will never help us move forward. They will keep us stuck. They will keep us feeling resentful, and they will take away our joy. When we challenge our negative beliefs, we also begin to experience joy. Like, it's amazing how many beliefs we have that aren't even our own. They are things that have been passed through generations that actually may not align with who we are or align with that person who we want to be. And I talked about me finding my essence, right? I had to let go of beliefs that had been programmed into me from when I was young. And I went, you know what? I don't actually have to believe somebody else's truth. I want to make my own truth. We can also cultivate optimism and focusing on positive outcomes and possibilities rather than going to the worst case scenario can be very challenging, but something we should be mindful of, something that we can do to help us steer ourselves into that path of optimistic living. And finally, seek professional support, right? If you are feeling emotional numbness or this thing called anhedonia, which I talked about before, a professional can provide strategies and guidance and intervention to help you. And never be afraid to go and talk to somebody about how you're feeling, because one person might just have that one thing that they do or say that you take away that could change your life. And I feel very grateful to the people who I have encountered along my life who have helped me begin to feel more joy and happiness, that's for sure. Now, joy is not a luxury, but it is a necessity for a fulfilling life, and everyone's journey is unique. But with patience and support, it is possible to discover our joy. And as you build your joy muscle, it will get stronger and stronger. And that is very exciting. And that kind of brings us to the end of the show today. It's 10:54 a.m. You're listening to Hutt Radio. My name is Jenny. We've been talking about joy, and I feel really privileged to be here and to have an opportunity to spend time with our listeners, share some things that might help change something in your life. I am a life coach, a happiness coach, and a sobriety coach. So I believe really passionately about wanting people to live their best life where they feel contentment, peace, joy, and to succeed. And yeah, when we start to do that as an individual and begin to share those things, it can have a really big difference to those around us. So there we go. I am going to wrap up with a song by Queen. This is actually the song I think I danced to today. Don't Stop Me Now, because I'm having such a good time. I am having a good time. I'm feeling joyful, happy, and appreciative of life. So I will see everybody next week, and I hope you have a really fantastic week. I hope that you start to find those little moments today where you can stop and go, oh, that felt really good. I'm going to do more of that. Anyway, I'll see you next week. This is Hutt Radio. My name is Janie. Don't stop me now because I am having a good time. However, it is time to stop. See you next Saturday, everybody. Okay, there we go. Done. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you've enjoyed the show. If you've got any questions about joy, you can always message me. I hope you have a really beautiful day, and yeah, I hope you get a chance to, get out there, enjoy doing something that you love, get to do something with the people that you love, and have fun. Right. I'm going to go. I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Feel the joy. Live in your joy bubble. Bye-bye.